One Zambia, one nation. Welcome to ZANIS News with me, Sarah Miti. Top stories in the news. CDF aids completion of stalled projects. Ruangwa crossing point needs landing bay. High levels of deforestation in Central Province worry authorities. Plus Choma district to get multi-sports infrastructure. The news in detail. The increase in the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, by government has enabled the Kabwe District Administration in Central Province to roll out various infrastructure projects. Kabwe District Commissioner Lennox Shimwambwa says the move has enabled projects which had stalled to be completed in sectors such as education and health, among others. Sandy Bwalia has more in this report.
The increase in Constituency Development Fund, CDF, has enabled Kabwe District Administration to roll out a number of infrastructure development in the area. Kabwe District Commissioner Lennox Shimwambwa outlined some of the projects that have been done in the district using CDF.
We're grateful that from 1.6 we moved to 25.7 to 30, now 30.6. So it has been very significant, and more especially in the aspect of education for all, or free education. How has it impacted? First and foremost, we have had to embark on a directive by the President to ensure that all the kids are on desks by end of that was a directive by end of 2023, but obviously we have had an extension to end of 2024. Kabwe District planned to procure 10,000 desks. We have so far procured 9,500 desks. And I think in terms of our target, I think we've done significantly well. I think 90% or 95% of our children now are seated on desks, and I think we're very grateful to President Akainde Chilama for ensuring that our children now have an opportunity they didn't have. Secondly, we have also had to construct schools, 1x3 classroom blocks. One of them that I have in mind is the Natuseko C basic school. And so it's a 1x3, which was completed in 2020, at the beginning of 2023. A mother's shelter just next to our central hospital, our main central hospital. We have a mother's shelter which has a capacity of 200, accommodation of 200 mothers around there. That is also very significant because before we had our mothers and some of the relatives. Actually, it's a relatives shelter, to just contextualize it. So we had a lot of our relatives hanging around the corridors in very unsanitary conditions then. This project is also is I think around 95% complete. It's already roofed and plastered. Mwashi, Mwashi Secondary School. So there's what you call, there's a laboratory there actually, which has been done, and an ablution block as well. And the next also is a hall at High Ridge Secondary School. These are projects that had stored for the longest time. Now they are complete, and at least the children now have the luxury of assembling in a hall. So we continue to monitor many other projects.
And head teacher at Mwashi Secondary School, Potiphar Mwalisopo, whose school benefited from CDF, expressed gratitude to government for constructing a science laboratory at the school.
This laboratory will cover 3 subjects, science subjects, that is biology, chemistry, and agriculture. You know, if you move around in many upgraded secondary schools, they don't have laboratories. But for Mwashi, we are very grateful to have this under CDF, because the benefits from there are great. You know, this time the world is going scientific.
And it's in Kabwe District, Central Province.
And Luampa District is one of the new districts benefiting from the increased Constituency Development Fund, CDF. The district has seen the construction of the first ever district mission hospital mortuary through CDF. Here's a report.
People in Luampa District are happy with the construction of the first ever Luampa Mission Hospital mortuary in Western Province. Speaking to Zambia News and Information Services ZANIS in an interview, Luampa Mission Hospital Biomedical Equipment Officer Emmanuel Lungu highlights the challenges the hospital was facing before the construction of the mortuary.
Fridge being installed for Mission Hospital, it will be a plus not only for the hospital but for the entire district, even the neighboring communities, because it has been a challenge of us as a community and the hospital having a population of over 55,000, taking the bodies to Kaoma and back here. But with this being installed here locally, it will be able to help us reduce on the cost.
Luampa Acting District Commissioner Patrick Mwemba said the Constituency Development Fund is changing the economic face of Luampa District.
Our roads as at now are not good because they have not been opened up. So as a district, through CDF, we intend to procure the earth-moving equipment so that we open up the roads to reach far-flung areas for the sake of good movement for our people and also for us even as we visit them.
And Ken Lupasa, one of the CDF beneficiaries, thanked the government for empowering him with money to start up a bakery in the area.
Before applying for a loan, I was just a farmer like that. Now, when I got a loan, we come up with a decision of saying, no, let's make up a bakery, whereby there's no bakery in Luampa. And that decision, we did it as well. As you can see that you have now a bakery in Luampa district.
Meanwhile, the traditional leaderships in the area are elated with government supporting developmental projects in the district.
Government yalo wekera hande ukaisali pula uliboni zoropiyesi wekweza hamama takanyani uliboni ni hai baba nana bona bani basika ituta kabungata basweli ba ituta hande.
Government has commended Action Aid Zambia for supplementing its efforts in combating the cholera epidemic. Speaking during a donation of food supplements at Yeta District Hospital in Sesheke, District Commissioner Alex Namenda says there is a need to find ways to resolve the challenge. Victor Mwala filed in this report.
With over 10 years of operation in Sesheke District, Action Aid Zambia is one of the civil society organizations that has been advancing the agenda of women, youth and the children among their priorities in the district. Today, Action Aid has come swiftly to complement government's efforts with anti-cholera items aimed at preventing the spread of cholera.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is a need. When we have a challenge with the cholera outbreak, not only in the province, but in Zambia as the general, where we have lost a good number of our brothers and sisters, children, to cholera, that we sit and find ways to resolve that challenge. And it is in this particular challenge where Action Aid has jumped into to help government mitigate the cholera challenge. This gathering there is assembled because our partner has responded to government appeal for humanitarian support.
Action Aid Country Director Jovina Nawenzake hands over the anti-cholera support materials to Yeta District Hospital.
Ladies and gentlemen, the composition of our donation in response to cholera include the following: chlorine bottles, oral dehydration solution, latex surgical gloves, reusable plastic aprons, hand sanitizers, gum boots, washing powder, face masks and washing soap, sanitary towels, water storage buckets and the water buckets, beans, rice, soya chunks and sugar.
Yeta District Hospital Management thanks Action Aid Zambia for the support.
As the District Health Office, we are very thankful for the gesture that Action Aid has shown to us. We believe that these donations will go a very long way in the fight against cholera in our district.
Victor Mwala, reporting for ZANIS News, Sesheke District, Western Province.
And in education, as schools open for the first time tomorrow, many pupils are expecting that their schools have made headway in the provision of desks to achieve the directive that no one sits on the floor while learning. Namusoke Wembia engaged the Senga Hill Town Council, one of the stakeholders charged with the responsibility of providing school furniture, to get an update on the issue. Here's a report.
Inadequate school furniture is one of the challenges that came about with the introduction of free education. This is because many pupils who dropped out of school enrolled back, thereby creating a shortage of desks. Republican President Hakainde Hichilema, however, directed that no pupil should sit on the floor during classes. And local authorities were tasked to help provide desks using the Constituent Development Fund, CDF. Senga Town Council now gives an update on the progress made on the provision of desks in schools.
Out of these, which were approved, 3,834 have been procured to date. Yes, but those which have been delivered to the schools. So these others which have been procured, they are yet to be delivered, and right now they are being delivered in phases. Yes, according to the lots, they are being delivered. Then the deficit as at now is at 2,566. And we intend to clear this according also to the directive by the end of first quarter 2024.
Elisca's company wants local contractors to maintain quality work to win government confidence.
Nanga ba contractor turebomba kulingana material yesu turebomba irebe yakosa pakutila ba government bakwate mo confidence muri ifwe pakuti bekala sendako abakutali
sereshako abanesu bengi sana bafumile ma colleges balesa mbira but ino chita bali busy baleri ma beans so ndemona kwati bali push fe at least ngabasatu joina kona company ini yaba riska twaba pamo bama kukwata mu skill and tetu kwate fe skill kusukuru kweka no practically.
Reporting for ZANIS, Namsoke Wembia.
Government, with support from the World Bank, is earmarked to construct Siameja Boarding Secondary School in Sinazongwe District at a cost of 23 million kwacha. Area Member of Parliament Gift Sia Lubalo, who graced the groundbreaking ceremony, says the school will help address the long distances that learners in the constituency cover to access secondary education. Gift Banji now reports.
Access to quality education was far-fetched for these learners, who have been learning under makeshift structures over 2 decades now in Chief Member's Siameja area in Sinazongwe District in Southern Province. However, double blessings for Siameja residents, situated about 70 kilometers away from Mamba Township, following the construction of a 1x2 classroom block at Simonga Community School under 2022 CDF, and another earmarked construction of a Siameja Boarding Secondary School to a tune of 23 million kwacha funded by World Bank.
The president is merely walking the talk. In the same Siameja, today, under CDF, we are giving you a 1x2 classroom block where there was none. But President, if he can just release 512,000 kwacha, bulindi nywe nubana simonga Siameja wadi pona bayungizia aji secondary siku yakataligo.
Sinazongwe District Education Board Secretary Debs Francis Hafiti says timely delivery of projects and value for money is key to achieving President Hakainde Hichilema's directive.
The presidential directives of having timely delivery of projects quality. This is the first boarding school in this area being funded by ZIP in short, with the support of the World Bank to a tune of 23 million kwacha. We have already received money to the tune of 7.5 million kwacha. Now, these children were learning under these two structures. There is one here and another one here for 23 years, and from grade 1 to 7. We want to thank this community for bringing up that idea to upgrade this school.
Sinazongwe local authorities is determined to prudent utilization of CDF to eradicate early marriages and empower local contractors.
Are done by local people, and we are very happy.
Should be able to see more numbers of children being in school, especially the girls. Let us work together to prevent teenage pregnancies.
Gift Banji, ZANIS in Sinazongwe, Southern Province.
We take our first break. We have more stories when we return. Stay tuned.
Bushe cholera chinshi. Cholera bulwele bwa kupolomia. Omuntu ukwete cholera alapolomia sana eyo n'okuluka. Obusali buba ubwamenshi n'okubutuluka ngomo basukire omupunga. Omulwele wa cholera takwata amenshi mu mubiri pamulandu wa kuluka ero n'okupolomia. Omulwele wa cholera kuti afwa munsa 12 na nguntile 12 hours nga taperwa omuti uwafikapo. Usho omuntu kuti akwata shani cholera. Ukunwa menshi ayabula okuwamya nangu ayafiko. Okulya ifya kulya n'emino iyalamba nangu mufipe ifya bula okusamfya n'amenshi ayasuma. Okulya ifya kulya ifyo basunga okwabula okufimbapo ifya kutira na balunshi baleikalapo. Okulya ifya kulya ifya shelepo ifya talala ifya kutira tabafisungire bwino nakalya iyo. Okulya ifya kulya ifyo bashitisha mu misebo. Okulya ifisabo elyo n'omusalo ifya bula okusamfya. Kuti twayichingirira shani ku bulwele bwa cholera. Wamyeni amenshi yakunwa okupitira mu kuyipika nangu okubika mu chlorine. Sambeni kuminwa na sopo elyo n'amenshi ayasuma panuma yakubomfya echimbusu. Kafyeniko ifya kulya ilyo tamulalia. Fimbeni pa fya kulya fyonse pakuti balunshi tabaleikalapo. Mwilalia ifya kulya fisangwa mu misebo. Bomfyeni chimbusu inshita yonse. Mwila bomfya ifikunkubiti nangu ifupepala pakuposa ubusali. Shiningisha inokutila ubusali bonse bwaposwa mu chimbusu. Sungeni chimbusu ichabusaka n'okufimbapo inshita yonse. Iyimbira abamireterako chipa ni chimona pabumi.
Welcome back. Now, Luangwa District Commissioner Luke Chikani says government is losing revenue due to lack of a landing bay for the pontoon at Luangwa Crossing Point. Mr. Chikani says government is not only losing revenue through the crossing point, but also paying salaries for pontoon officers who are not operating due to lack of a landing bay. Lista Ndumba reports that Mr. Chikani said this when Permanent Secretary for Special Duties under Cabinet Office, Patrick Mucheleka, checked on the pontoon when he visited Luangwa District.
The in-house pontoon that was assembled to service the Luangwa-Zimbabwe crossing points has never served this purpose due to lack of a required landing bay on the Zambian side. The district administration is concerned with the delay in the construction of the landing bay.
The staff has already been deployed here 2 years ago, so they are not utilizing. We are supposed to increase the revenue base here. Zadara was going to get even more because right now what is happening, people are only using canoes and small boats.
Permanent Secretary for Special Duties under Cabinet Office, Patrick Mcheleka, said he will engage relevant authorities to facilitate the construction of a landing bay at Luangwa Crossing Point.
We also have to support the work that is being done by Lusaka Province Administration, PSA Kamalata, and of course this is an issue that will also be brought to the attention of PSA Marusasaka under transport and logistics, so that we see how best we can attend to the challenge that we have here. Yes. Instead of having our officers, 12 of them, who have been deployed here, being paid for doing nothing. And then we also have a facility which is actually running.
Yes.
Not that it has broken down.
No.
The only challenge is that it doesn't have
A
a
landing
landing bay. Once our experts, our officers do what is required, it's possible to construct a landing bay on the side of the
Zambian side.
Meanwhile, Rogers Katongo, a fish trader, appealed to government to intervene in the challenges faced by Zambian fish traders when buying fish in the neighboring Mozambique.
Bapose kwa mano sana batulondekeshe kutwachula isa bituleshita kujya 80 kwacha baletonka currency 40 kwacha badi mulonga wa isa muzana tuleshita 50 kwacha meaning ni loss ifo kuchitakira 2000 nomba ifo profit yonse ida shara mukati badi ifo bena kumyesu kuno bayengira be free so bashita nobunga bashita filifions
Lista Ndumba, ZANIS, Luangwa District.
Ndola Mayor Jones Kaliati has handed over 2 ablution blocks to marketeers in Mushili area in Ndola. Mr. Kaliati says the 2 ablution blocks were built and rehabilitated at a total cost of 850,000 kwacha using the locally generated capital funds. Jacqueline Mora now reports.
Ndola City Council has officially handed over 2 ablution blocks that were constructed in Mushili and Kansengo in Bwanamkuba constituency. The ablution blocks that were once vandalized have been reconstructed and rehabilitated with the use of locally generated capital funds. Ndola City Mayor handed over the facility to the marketers and urged them to take care of the ablution block.
These toilets are basically in the markets, which is Mushili Market and the Kansengo Market. We wish to advise our dear traders and marketeers in this area to take good responsibility of the given facilities. This is a time when we have cholera, and we want to appeal to them to take good, keen interest in making sure that the toilets are clean, they are taken good care of, and that they are ever under lock and key so that there's no vandalism.
Ndola City Council Town Clerk George Mlenga has cautioned marketers to refrain from vandalizing the properties.
Mufuire mwa kisunga wino nokukonka amashui ayo bala mukambishana ayo bala mweba pamisungire ya ichi chipe because rehabilitation nangu kuamya kwa ichi chintu twala isula lelo chili pamabeya yenu nga ba community council tekutira yocha council ni mwebo ni mwemo abikako council ni mwemo achita elect intungurushisha isa mukwisura nomba mule kisunga wino.
Meanwhile, Mushili Ward Councillor has thanked government for being supportive.
Chakwe bati tulebo mfyanga toilet. Twalikwata tulotuma toilet twabika mu mabana mu mashops ndo twakwe bati nga twaleta amalwele bonse fe kuno kuti twafwa. Lero government yali tupere chikulwa. Twachita vandalize, twafumyako twayashitisha bambi balesa pena mkutoba kwa magokwe bati tuchitobe tukwe chala tobeka. Lelo bakanso kutsela na muntu ngulushishenu twalopinga na bena bamfo kulila kwenu kwe bati nati babweseseshe toilet again bayingisha mona shimbi mpia bawamya toilet.
Jacqueline Moba, ZANIS in Ndola.
Eastern Province Permanent Secretary Paul Tolley has described as successful the outcomes of a $32.8 million United States dollar World Bank-supported Zambia Integrated Forest Landscape Project, which has been running in the province for 6 years. Speaking after touring various project sites in Nyimba, Petauke, Sinda, and Katete districts, Mr. Tolley says the project has achieved the intended objective of alleviating poverty among the beneficiary communities and ultimately environmental preservation. Lubasi Mutafela has more in this report.
When the good Lord decides to turn off the tap, you can irrigate your crop. You can draw water from down and then irrigate the crop. And in fact, what they're introducing here in terms of efficiency in water utilization is the best system, right? Because the dry areas where there are weeds, you stop them. Drip, it is precise to the crop. So what they're introducing, drip is the way to go. And if we can sensitize our people, the benefits are immense. They are immense. This is the insurance. This is the way to go in terms of agriculture. Besides, it also provides growing of crops even in the dry season when the rains are gone. Now, here in Nyimba, the DC is here. He can attest the fields where we have been, where we have gone, and even himself, he can attest that the crops here are stressing, they are coming close dangerously to that going back level, the permanent wilting point. Some of them, they're almost of the crops which you have seen, they have tasseled at a very, very, very low stage.
Central Province Forestry Officer Odelia Chilekwa says the levels of deforestation in the area is alarming. Ms. Chilekwa says the province is losing almost 250 hectares of forest every year due to the indiscriminate cutting down of trees for charcoal burning. Here are the details.
Every day, hundreds of trees are cut down in Zambia for the purpose of charcoal burning, a trend that has not only contributed to the depletion of the country's forests, but also resulted in ecological imbalances. In an effort to curtail deforestation and ensure sustainable livelihoods among the rural poor, Ministry of Green Economy in Central Province is conducting education and sensitization meetings with charcoal traders and charcoal burners.
Bamene bashoka malasha simuganizira kuti mwenda bamwapasa business yakuti mubagula muthandizira naimwe kuti malasha azipitirira pasogolo ushe mvula muiona bwanji
maweza wa mvula mandi sitinga nami ichifuta
why mvula ya mitengo ya chitabwanji yasira na chani muyankha pang'ono yisira na chani mitengo
ifuka yoshoka malasha tuzaka mbabani
but simufuna kusiya ka
because of pressure because tiribe ntchito mayo wanaka then tiribe mwakwati matsunga sungire bana mayo wanaka so ndio chenenge so tondogesa mitengo so that tipezeko kang'ona kauti ngakwanisa kusungira ko bana.
Central Province Forestry Officer Odelia Chilekwa is concerned that the department is losing about 250 hectares of forests through illegal cutting of trees and burning of charcoal.
But with activities like this, charcoal production, we will not be doing much in the fight, So if we were to make sure that the charcoal is reduced or comes to zero rate, then it will be very, very good. Because charcoal is very destructive. Any tree is cut, every tree of any size is cut, as opposed to timber whereby it's selective.
Central Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Godfrey Chitambala says government has been grappling with charcoal burning for a long time.
Of charcoal burning, which government have been grappling for a long time now. I think that we've taken up the charge to ensure that this is controlled. I think the after effect of what was seen, the cutting of trees, charcoal burning, is what we're in right now because we can't feel the rains and when we're anticipating that it will rain, it can't rain.
Daniel Billy for ZANIS News in Chiwambo District, Central Province.
Back to Western Province, residents of Lukulu District have been urged to practice climate change interventions such as planting of trees as the effects of climate change continue to be visible. Lukulu Town Council Director Engineering Christopher Shawa said this after inspecting a blown-off roof at Shimakumba Clinic, a facility which services more than 5,000 people. Details in this report.
From the dry spell which is currently being experienced to heavy wind rains which are blowing off roofs and crops as well as trees, it is encouraged to take up climate change intervention measures as the district's infrastructure has potential of growing to avoid any future losses. Recently, one of the buildings at Simakumba Clinic had a roof blown off due to heavy wind rains.
We are here at Simakumba Rural Health Center
It's a facility which is about 20 kilometers from Lukulu. On the 8th of this month, February, the roof was blown off. This is a structure which we use for MCH activities, including antenatal. So as the way it is, it means that the service provision has been disrupted. So this therefore means that the postnatal activities and the other MCH activities will be affected, because this is a facility which is servicing about 5,000 population.
The facility in charge explains how the incidents occurred.
There was a strong wind and heavy rain that started around 17 to 18. So by the time when we realized, the time when we came at the facility, we had found that one of our block, which is MCH block, it was blown by the wind. At that time, there was no client in the room, and the following day, we came as a committee with a hack to do what we could do, and we removed some of the iron sheets which were on top.
And Lukulu Town Council Director Engineering Christopher Shawer says this incident is a learning process as the district is developing.
So we're just here with a team to assess the damage to the building and also to come up with recommendations as to what can be done to ensure that the building is quickly back in use. Probably this will be conducted under a component of the CDF, which is disaster contingency, which was designed as a tool to quickly respond to such happenings or such emergencies. Maybe this is a lesson to all our contractors who are currently building. Let us follow all the specifications and recommendations so that we avoid such issues. And also just to advise maybe members of the community, where you see a building or a government building, plant trees around. This one clearly didn't have any trees around to break the wind. So the strong winds didn't have any windbreakers. So that also is a small thing that can go a long way.
These, among other clips, are a wake-up call for everyone to have behavioral change towards climate change adaptation. Rita Kabindama, ZANIS, Lukulu District, Western Province.
And that report brings us to our second break. We have more stories when we return. Stay tuned.
Kodi kolera ndi chani?
Kolera ndi matenda othulula. Munthu amene adwala matenda ya kolera amathulula kwambiri ndi kusanza. Dothi lake limakhala ngati madzi momwe atsukira mpunga. Ndipo munthu odwala kolera, madzi mthupi lake amatha kamba kakuti iye amachoka kwambiri kupyolera mkusanza ndi kuthulula kwambiri. Munthu odwala kolera angamwalire m'maola 12 kaya kuti 12 hours ngati sanalandire mwamsanga thandizo la mankhwala.
Kodi munthu angatengere motani matenda a kolera?
Kumwa madzi adothi, kudya zakudya ndi m'manja mosasamba mwadothi kapena kugwiritsa ntchito mbale zotsukiwa ndi madzi adothi. Kudya zakudya zimene zinangosiwa mosasamala posabwinikira. Kudya zakudya zozizira zachimbala zimene sizinasungiwa bwino. Kudya zakudya zimene amagulitsa mphepete mwa misewu. Kudya zipatso ndi ndiwo zamasamba zosatsuka.
Kodi kolera ingachinjiriziwe?
Gadusani madzi anu akumwa kapena kugwiritsa ntchito chlorine. Sambani m'manja ndi madzi aukhondo ndi sopo mukamaliza kugwiritsa ntchito chimbudzi. Funditsani zakudya mukalebe kuyamba kudya. Osadya zakudya zimene zimagulitsiwa mphepete mwa misewu. Muyenera kubwinikira zakudya kuopetsa kuti ntchentche zingakakeko. Nthawi zonse muyenera kugwiritsa ntchito chimbudzi. Pewani kugwiritsa ntchito machemba kapena maplastiki ngati chimbudzi. Onani kuti dothi litayiwa mchimbudzi. Nthawi zonse onani kuti zimbuzi zikhala zaukhondo ndipo nthawi zonse pambowa wa chimbudzi chanu pazikhala pobwinikira bwinobwino. Okubweretsani uthenga uyu ndi aunduna wa zaumoyo.
We continue with ZANIS news. A woman-led cooperative in Nalolo district has received a rice polishing machine as part of an empowerment initiative by the Gender Division under the Office of the President. Western Province Gender Principal Officer Bruce Hamusokwe handed over the machine to the club in Moyo area. Sifue Mwangala now gives us this report.
Women need to be empowered as they are the main custodians when it comes to taking care of families. In line with this, the Gender Division under the Office of the President has empowered a group of women with a rice polishing machine. Western Province Gender Principal Officer Bruce Hamsukwe explains the main objective of the machine.
This machine is under the program that Gender Division is carrying out in the whole country, the Women Economic Empowerment Program. So today, the Gender Department in Western Province would fulfill that obligation. So with this machine is what towards lifting the standards for women in a lot of districts to make sure that they are empowered and they're able to afford certain basic needs.
Namakando Skabongo, the cooperative treasurer, expressed gratitude to the government for providing the rice polishing machine.
I would like to thank President Hakainde Hichilema for recognizing our group. This machine will help us provide for our families.
Meanwhile, Naroro District Commissioner Namatama Mopo said the machine would be put to good use.
If anyone comes up to trouble the old lady because she's the treasurer to give the money must be decided by the group, not one individual person from the group. If that person comes, the treasurer is free, the chairperson is free to call me. The officer in charge has got a CDF brand new Land Cruiser vehicle here, which is fit for the terrain here. To reach Kataba within 20 minutes to be there, to go and bring that culprit.
The rice polishing machine aims to empower the women to meet their basic needs and bridge the gap that other social services may not cover. Sifue Mwangala, reporting for ZANIS in Naroro District, Western Province.
In a related event, government has handed over a boat, hammer mills, and livestock startup to vulnerable households beneficiaries in Milenge District. The items were procured through recoveries under the Food Security Pack (FSP), amounting to over 800,000 kwacha.
Milenge District has recorded Food Security Pack paybacks from the 2,117 packs that were disbursed under the 2022 to 2023 farming season, comprising 1,517 packs for rain-fed and 600 packs for wetland crop cultivation, which have so far resulted in recoveries of over 800,000 kwacha. Officiating at a handover of hammer mills, a boat and small livestock, Luapula Province Permanent Secretary Mighty Mumba said under the winter cropping initiative, government has since relaunched the wetlands crop cultivation component, which is now being implemented in 6 districts of Luapula Province, which include Milenge.
More gratifying to note that the equipment we are handing over to the community has been purchased using the recoveries from the Food Security Pack. Let me emphasize that FSP beneficiaries are not required to pay anything to be enrolled into the program, but are expected to give back part of their produce to the program after harvest. This is because the support beneficiaries receive is not intended as a completely free handout. Instead, it is a conditional grant to stimulate a sense of ownership and care for other vulnerable households in communities. The recoveries are therefore important and used to promote sustainability, in that through this exercise, more needy people are supported with various interventions to promote household food security and income.
The beneficiaries are grateful to government and pledge to fulfill their payback when due.
Mkwai tuchiri tuletamba nokutamba mumayanda Yesu ichalenga mkwai nyobubu nyobuyantanshi.
The district chairperson for the Community Welfare Assistant Committees had this to share.
and our hope is that we'll have 100% paybacks from the farmers so that more people can benefit from what the government is doing. If this continues, we see a situation where the livelihood of the people in Milenge is improving.
David Ndovi for ZANIS, Luapula Province.
The Nursing and Midwifery Council of Zambia is concerned with the inadequate skills and unprofessional behavior among some of the practitioners in Zambia. Midwifery Council of Zambia Chief Executive Officer Betty Zimba is also concerned with the unethical conduct among some practitioners. She was speaking during a training workshop for 47 inspectors from the northern region held at Litongo Premier in Kalolushi. Here's a report.
It is a deliberate program meant to improve patients' care at health facilities in Zambia. The Nursing and Midwifery Council of Zambia is concerned with the falling standards of the patient's care and unethical behavior by some practitioners. The council wants to address the inadequate skills and unprofessional behavior by some practitioners. No wonder they've brought together some inspectors from the different health facilities in the northern region to acquaint themselves with the new act. This is to effectively enforce compliance to the set standards of the nursing and midwifery education, training and practice.
The goal of the council is to have at least 3 inspectors in each district in order to effectively enforce compliance to the set standards of the nursing and midwifery education, training and practice. It is worth noting that this year alone, the council has planned to train a total number of 80 new inspectors, 30 of whom will be trained in the northern region.
The Copperbelt Provincial Health Director encouraged practitioners to be more ethical in their duties.
The bigger picture of our people, that we should be able to save them and save them very well. If individually we did that, we will move actually this country from the level where we are to something. Don't we agree with that? Yes. Yes. So we need to, collectively and individually, we need to invest in our people. If we invest in our people better, then we are going to, to have a country that is actually going to move forward properly.
And the practitioners have pledged to work accordingly in order to have a healthy nation.
We promise that our inspections will help to raise the standards of education and practice in our region. Guests of honor, I will be failing in my duties if I don't acknowledge the support that we all received from our various stations of work. The support in terms of time and other logistics. The support has really made it possible for us to attend this important activity.
Boyleka Papla for ZANIS in Kalolushi.
The Zambia Federation of Disability Organizations, ZAFOD, has trained stakeholders in disability disaster risk reduction and disability meaningful inclusion in Luangwa District. ZAFOD Programs Manager Mishe Katongo has described the training as pilot interventions aimed at ensuring that persons with disabilities are included in risk reduction, resilience, and preparedness programs. Details in the following report.
To address the issue of disability disaster risk reduction inclusiveness, ZAFOD has embarked on a pilot intervention program to empower stakeholders in the district with knowledge on meaningful disability inclusion. ZAFOD Programs Manager Mishek Katongo explains more on the program.
Now there's a looming drought. In other areas there are floods. So as a district, we are taking them through how they can ensure that citizens with disabilities are included in whatever the district will be planning and implementing to ensure that citizens are resilient towards these looming disasters.
Luangwa District Community Health Focal Person Malon Kotashi said the Department of Health in the district has put in place initiative approach to ensure community participation in problem identification and solutions.
We have what we are calling a community scorecard. The community comes every quarter just to assess how was the attitude, how did they give respect to the clients and the like. Other thematic areas that we are looking at is infrastructure. Do we have walkways? Do we have infrastructure that can enable persons with disabilities to have access to health services. So if there are no such infrastructure at the facility, the community proposes to say we put up such infrastructure. And that really helps because the community is identifying the problems themselves and also proposing interventions.
Katondwe Persons with Disability Association chairperson Odeta Tembo said the knowledge acquired will help persons with disability know channels in addressing issues that affect them.
Officers mwamene umu noti akaona inole mara na bwera azona kwati sindine muntu iyayi. Vea zafuna uja muntu ali tunthulu amushe na vea zafuna ini ni vimozi. So ngati dandaulo tapereka ija. Tonsa tianganile limozi.
Lista Ndumba reporting, Luangwa District.
Finally, in the news, the Choma Municipal Council plans to put up additional multi-sports infrastructure at Choma Independence Stadium. Choma Mayor Javen Sumoloka disclosed that the local authority will also open up 2 new areas within the district for developing sports facilities. And Minister of Youth, Sports and Art, Elvis Nkandu, commended the council for the plans, saying sports in the country can only develop when the country has multi-sports facilities dotted around the country where talent can be identified. Here's a report.
The local authority in Choma plans to put up modern sports facilities in the district as a way of promoting sports development. Choma Mayor Javen Smologa revealed this when Minister of Sports Elvis Nkandu toured Choma's Independence Stadium, which is home to Premier League outfit Green Eagles.
We have some land adjacent to this place, which is earmarked for a sporting facility, so that other sports can also be incorporated here. But also as a local authority, we've deliberately left two portions of land, 7 hectares each, in Wood Park and in Harmony, the new development areas, where we've left for full sporting facilities that can be built to modern standards.
And the Minister of Sports says investing in sports infrastructure in provincial centers and districts is one way of developing sports in the country.
You want to be winning every time. There are 3 important issues. You need to invest in infrastructure, you need to also invest in preparations, and finally then you give money for the competition. So as long as we do not develop infrastructure, invest in infrastructure, we'll just always be saying next time.
And wants sports development programs to embrace various sports disciplines in order to enable Zambia compete in multiple sports disciplines at international competitions.
Went to Birmingham. We had 280 sports codes there, but we just participated or competed in 8. So obviously you are reducing on the chances of minting more medals, because if you don't win in 8, then it's 0. So for those that are participating in the 280, the chances of minting some medals was very high. So I want also to appeal to the Mponderas, athletics. It's not only about running. We should also invest in field events.
Southern Province Minister Credo Nanjua has called for the private sector to actively participate in sports development in the province.
Then at provincial level, we also start looking for investors who can invest into sports, even developing a sports complex here in Choma. I think that would be the best way to go by, looking at the mega resources that through government coffers we may not have that capacity.
ZANIS reports in Choma, Southern Province.
As we end the news, a reminder of the top stories. CDF aids completion of stalled projects. Ruangwa Crossing Point needs landing day. High levels of deforestation in Central Province worry authorities. Plus Choma District to get multi-sports infrastructure. And that is all we had for you on ZANIS News. Thank you so much for joining us.